Ebusuafo, welcome back to your channel. Yada se de bia wo like na wo share your videos. Na wo ye foforo wa ha so ye besra wo say wo be subscribe to your channel no. Se na be ya every time bia ye be upload videos no. Unsa betimi akan. Na on this platform no, ye NDC na ye MPP. In fact, Nana Kwame Bediako, he has clearly stated say Onokrano, he is not a politician. Until on this platform, we are not doing cheap politics here. Now, what we are doing is, it's about our country Ghana and the progress of Ghana. Now, ahano, ye enlighten the Ghanaian youth on the need to choose a leader who will bring the real change we are looking for in our country Ghana. Into videos I had brown, it is to open the mind and expose our youth or yashafonu to what is actually really happening in our world today, and the reason why Ghana is where we are today. Because if you don't understand what actually is the root cause of Ghana's problem, you will have no hope. You will have no hope. Ghana's problem will be mysterious to you. But we want to break the root causes to you so that the problems will not be mysterious to you. And when you see a solution, you would immediately spot that solution. When you see a leader who will bring a real change, you will immediately spot that leader and throw your support behind that leader. Now on this platform, we believe Nana Kwame Bediako is the right leader Ghana needs now. Why do we believe that he is the right leader? Because from the way he speaks and his convictions, he understands what is going on in our world today. And because he understands what is going on in our world today, we believe that he will have the best strategies to help us overcome our real enemies and challenges. So no wasting too much time. Mama yenko na yenko share video no me pacho. Video no see the end. It is so much eye-opening and so much information in this video. Thank you very much.
Among the imperialists, they have a vision of the world that I will explain to you. To them, the world is summarized in a triangle. You will see the triangle in most of their insignia. Perhaps you don't understand, but to them, the world is summarized in a triangle. At the top of the triangle is the empire of good, and the empire of good is them. They are prosperity. They are everything positive. They are entitled to all the happiness in this world. They have the right to all the riches. They impose their worldview, their vision, their way of life. That's why during the conquest, they would come to our lands and say they had discovered our lands, because to them, we were savages and had nothing like them. So, they call us natives, and it's them, the people who have all the rights. To them, the world must operate as they want. To illustrate, I'll take a few examples. Look at their movies. They have brainwashed their people into believing they're superior and entitled to everything. You won't say otherwise. In all their films that they propagate, you will always find the villains are either Russians, South Americans, or blacks playing the roles of drug dealers, pimps, human traffickers, and recently, Arabs playing the roles of terrorists. This is how they perceive the world. On the economic side, who among us hasn't labeled Chinese products as cheap goods? But today, I can tell you that we were all wrong because China has advanced technology, and it's in China that most of these countries source their goods, put their brand on them, and sell them to us as their own. Look around.
Nos entrepreneurs qui sont dans le BTP ne diront pas le contraire.
Entrepreneurs in construction won't deny that all their equipment today is Chinese.
Ceux qui font le transport ne
Those in
diront pas le
transportation
contraire.
won't deny it either.
Ils nous ont
They
menti
lied to us.
parce que nous avons fait le tour du monde dans
We traveled the world in the past 20
pour
months,
chercher des
looking for
entreprises, pour
companies
chercher
and
des
factories,
usines, compris
and we
que
realized
tout est là-bas.
everything leads
Mais
back to
par leur
China.
communication, amenée à
Yet through their propaganda, they made us hate all Chinese products, making us believe that only their products were good. To better understand what I'm saying,
C'est simple.
it's simple.
Remonter le temps. Pour mieux comprendre
To better understand what I will say,
ce que je dirais, il
we
faut
need to go
remonter
back a
un peu le
little in
temps.
time.
J'espère que certains iront
You need to go back in time and read about the Tsars,
Les conquêtes mongoles, pire perse.
Mongol conquests, Persian, Turkish and Ottoman empires.
Lisez leur histoire. Vous
Read their
comprendrez
history
pourquoi.
and you will understand why the world is the way it is.
À la base du triangle,
At the base of the triangle, there are two empires.
d'un côté, l'empire du mal.
On one side, the empire of evil, and on the other, the empire of slaves. This is how they see
Qui
the
est-ce qu'ils
world.
appellent l'empire du mal?
Who do they call the
Ceux dont
empire
je
of
viens de
evil?
citer tout de suite.
Those I just mentioned.
L'origine, et je vous
Go
ai dit
back
de
in
remonter
time,
le temps,
read,
à
and you will
comprendre
understand
pourquoi
why
ils
they
sont
see them as the
mal à
empire
l'aise.
of evil.
Ils combattent l'empire du mal. Pour
They
eux,
believe they
l'empire
must
du
fight
mal
and
doit
eradicate the
disparaître.
empire of evil
Pour eux, l'empire du mal est
because it
bizarre.
embodies the devil. They communicate this and make their people understand it that way.
Voilà pourquoi après une guerre
This is why
mondiale,
after
dans les
World
années
War
80,
II, in the
je
1980s,
prendrai le cas de la Russie,
I will take the case of Russia.
où tous les stratagèmes ont été mis en œuvre.
All schemes were implemented to collapse it under President Gorbachev,
Les États-Unis étaient à la
orchestrated by President Ronald Reagan. Three main strategies caught our attention. First, they went to Saudi Arabia and asked them to lower the oil price from $35 to $7 to collapse the Russian economy.
manœuvre. Parallèlement à cela,
Alongside that,
le deuxième stratagème, n'oubliez pas quelque chose.
remember something.
Ces mêmes personnes qui viennent
The
de quitter
second strategy,
l'Afghanistan, soi-disant qu'ils combattaient les talibans,
they armed
ont
the
été
Taliban
reçus
who were
par
received
le
by
président
President Ronald Reagan at
à
the
la
White
Maison
House
Blanche, étaient armés par le fameux missile Stinger.
with CIA-supplied Stinger surface-to-air missiles to fight the Russians.
Plus tard, ils
Later,
viennent
they
supposer
pretended
les
to fight the
combattre.
Taliban themselves.
Allez-y comprendre.
Go figure.
Troisième stratagème,
The third strategy was a bluff,
lisez,
the Star Wars
comprendrez
project,
pourquoi ils ont amené le
which led Gorbachev to create the Paulus project, sinking Russia further.
Une fois que la Russie-
Once Russia collapsed, those who claimed to be the empire of good began to gloat
jusqu'à ce qu'ils viennent
until Vladimir Putin's team came to revive Russia.
l'empire du mal selon
The
eux.
empire of evil, according to them, has suffered greatly.
Regardez l'Iran aujourd'hui.
Look at Iran today, facing all possible sanctions.
Regardez comment ils
Look at how they describe certain people.
par la communication ils peuvent arriver
Through communication, they can manage to make you hate a people or love a people. They are very strong in communication and use all possible channels.
Regardez les guerres
Look at the wars that are raging.
tout inventent.
They create them for their own interest.
Et enfin,
Finally,
l'empire des esclaves.
according to them,
Selon eux,
the empire of slaves is Africa and some South American peoples.
dans leur tête, comme je
In their
disais
minds,
dernièrement,
as I mentioned
l'Afrique
earlier,
nous appartient.
Africa
Nos terres
belongs to them.
appartiennent. Les riches
Our
de
lands,
l'Afrique
our
sont pour
riches
eux.
belong to
Ils ne
them.
peuvent pas concevoir que des Africains
And they can't conceive that Africans could emancipate,
sortir la tête de l'eau et vouloir
rise and
convertir
challenge
les
them.
têtes. Et pour cela,
And for this reason,
ils se sont mis inclités.
they believe Africans are easy to manipulate and driven by emotions.
Ils trouveront toujours un Africain.
They will always find an African to fight against his brother.
Et ça a toujours été comme ça.
And it has always been like that.
Par la communication, ils vous ont amené
Unfortunately, through their communication, they made us hate our own skin color.
Et dans beaucoup de cultures, au Burkina Faso ici,
In many cultures, including in Burkina Faso, mourning was symbolized by the color blue.
lorsqu'une femme perse portait donc des
When a
tenues
woman
de
lost her
couleur
husband,
bleue, personne
she wore blue
défendait.
clothes for a period.
Ce sont eux qui sont venus vous dire que
They
le
came
noir
and told us
symbolise
that
le
black
deuil,
symbolizes
le diable,
mourning,
la médecine,
the devil, mediocrity,
Et
everything bad.
malheureusement, nous avons tellement avalé ça. que
Unfortunately,
lorsque nous
we
sommes
swallowed this so
nous
much
mettons
that we wear
également.
black when mourning.
Il faut que nous nous réveillons. Il faut que nous nous réveillons parce que voilà le cliché.
We
qu'ils
need to
ont en
wake up
tête.
because this is how they see the world.
Eux, ils sont l'empire du
They are
d'autres
the
sont l'empire
empire
du
of
mal.
good. Others are the empire of evil. And we are the empire of slaves.
Voilà comment impérialiste
This
voit
is
le
the
monde.
imperialist worldview. You need to
Et
understand this.
là, je m'en vais faire un coup de gueule à l'endroit donc de certains intellectuels qui
I want to
continuent.
make a point to some intellectuals who seem to want to preach for the imperialists.
Est-ce qu'ils ignorent cette partie de l'histoire?
Do they ignore
Je
this part
n'invente
of
rien.
history?
Ça a été déclassifié, vous trouverez tout ce que j'ai
I'm not making this up. It's declassified. You can find everything I said in libraries or online.
Ces intellectuels n'ont-ils pas lu cela? Ne
Don't these
connaissent-ils pas
intellectuals
l'histoire
know
de
the
ce monde?
history of this world?
C'est peut-être par malhonnêteté ou quelques billets
Maybe
de
it's
dollars qui les
dishonesty.
amènent à toujours prêcher.
Or a few dollars that make them preach for the
Il
imperialists?
faut que nos intellectuels arrivent à tout moment à prêcher.
Our intellectuals must always preach to enlighten our people, our masses, so they understand where they come from and how the imperialists see them.
Prenons l'histoire.
Let's take the example of some wars.
Vous avez suivi la guerre d'Irak.
You followed the Iraq War, a big lie about weapons of mass destruction.
Certains sénateurs au niveau des États-Unis.
Some US senators did everything to get proof but couldn't.
Souvenez-vous que plusieurs personnes démissionnaient de la
Remember,
CIA après
several people resigned from the CIA after this war. Evidence was fabricated with the help of Western secret services.
Et on se souvient que le même Niger a été accusé en montant un faux.
We remember that Niger was accused at the time of selling uranium to Iraq.
À l'Irak. C'est le même processus.
And the same scenario played out recently, with accusations of clandestinely selling uranium to Iran.
C'est du déjà vu.
This is déjà vu.
Ils ont prétexté
They made
cela,
this claim,
ils n'ont pas eu
but
de
found
preuves.
no proof.
Même les Nations Unies trouvaient finalement qu'il
Even
n'y
the
avait pas de
United
preuves
Nations
tangibles
eventually
que
found
les
no
Américains
tangible evidence of weapons of mass
Ils avaient leur
destruction.
objet de détruire l'Irak.
Their
Ils ont
objective was to
détruit
destroy
l'Irak.
Iraq,
Ils ont créé l'État islamique. Tout comme
create
ils ont
the
créé
Islamic
les
State
talibans
just
dans
like
les
they
années
created the
80.
Taliban
Les
state in the
armées, les
1980s,
équipés.
armed
Et
them,
après, ils prétendent
and later
venir
pretended to
les
fight them.
Comprenez le jeu.
Understand the game.
Ça n'a que trop duré.
This game has gone on too long. We need to wake up, understand, and fight for our future.
Toutes ces guerres ont été inventées,
All these wars,
passant par l'Irak, la
Iraq,
Syrie, la
Syria,
Libye,
Libya,
dans le
were
but de
fabricated to destabilize the
à
world
leur
for their
profit,
benefit,
parce que nul ne doit
ensuring that
pouvoir
no
les
one could
égaler.
ever match them.
C'est ce que nous vivons aujourd'hui dans le Sahel aussi
Today,
à travers le
we see the
terrorisme
same in the Sahel
qu'ils
with
nous ont
terrorism
imposé.
imposed on us,
Parce que ils trouveront toujours des Noirs qui vont
because they will
s'exciter
always find blacks
et
who
qui
will
vont
get
prendre les
excited
armes
and take
contre
up
leurs
arms
frères
against
noirs.
their black
C'est ce que nous
brothers.
vivons.
This is what we
Ils
are
n'ont
living.
jamais quitté ce modèle.
They have
Malheureusement,
never left
beaucoup
this
de gens
model,
leur donnent. À
and
cause de quelques
unfortunately,
billets de dollars,
many people agree with
ils se
them for a
vendent
few
très loin
dollars.
à
They sell
l'ennemi,
themselves
à
cheaply to the
l'impérialisme.
enemy, to the
Et
imperialists,
ils se
and
mettent à
fight against
combattre
their
leurs frères.
brothers.